Hello, my name is Darren Thomas and I am the Director of Educational Research Techniques. In this video, we're going to take a look at factoring a difference of cubes. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now, we've been covering factoring for several videos now, factoring polynomials in case you're not aware. And there is a special, I guess you can call it a shortcut when you're dealing with a polynomial that involves cubes. So let me see if I can try to make this clear. So there are two common ways to deal with this. And it kind of depends on what you're getting and exactly what the problem manifests itself as. So let me just see if I can give you the general principle, then I'll give you some examples. So the general principle is a cubed plus b cubed will equal a plus b in parentheses. And then in parentheses, you'll have a quadratic, if you will, almost. A squared minus ab plus b squared. And of course, unlike when you're looking for a factor of a difference of squares, the subtraction one will also work here. Let me show you what that looks like. So a cubed minus b cubed will equal, this time, a minus b, and then you have now a squared plus a times b plus b squared. So these are the two general formulas. And now let me see if I can give you an example. I'll give you one example using the plus one and one example using the minus one. That's what I'm going to do here. And so let's take a look at our first example here. So let's just say I have the following. I have x cubed plus 27. Now, if you're paying attention, you can clearly see that this follows our first little format here at the top. A cubed plus b cubed. So what we need to do is we need to break this down. The first thing we have to do is we have to, remove the cube, if you will. So we kind of cube rooted, if you will, if you want to call it that. And so that I get a plus b. And so in this particular situation, the x is going to represent the a term, if you will, and the 27 represents the b term. So first I cube it. And so what I get now is I get, over here off to the side, I will get x, let me put that in parentheses, plus 3, because 3 cubed will give me 27. And then after that, I will have x squared minus a times b. So a is x, b is 3, so it's going to be 3x plus 3 squared, because remember, this is my b term here. That's what we have here. And so now we need to simplify it. And so what we'll get is, it's not going to change that much, by the way. Maybe you can tell. X plus 3, excuse me. X squared minus 3x plus 9. All right. And so that's pretty much the end of the experience. Now, we can check to make sure that this is working properly by doing some polynomial multiplication. So I'll do that on the next screen here. So this is what we have. Let's just continue our experience here. So I have, this is my first part of my answer, x squared minus 3x plus 9, and then below that I had x plus 3. This was my final answer, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to multiply that to make sure I got the correct answer. So 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times negative 3x is going to be, let me put a plus here, it's going to be minus 9x, and 3 times x squared is going to be 3x squared. Move down, x times 9 is going to be positive 9x. X times 3x is going to be, let me put a positive here, minus 3x squared, and then x times x squared is going to be x cubed. Now we just we add now. That's what we do. And so of course the 27 drops down. These cancel out because I have minus 9. I know that's hard to see. Minus 9 plus positive 9, that cancels out. Positive 3x squared plus negative 3x squared, that cancels out, and we left with this. And so we know that our answer works because we ended up with our original polynomial here. So we know we got the correct answer. So just to make sure things are clear, this guy right here at the bottom, this is the answer. Right here, if I wanted to factor that, that is the answer. And we confirm that by doing the multiplication. Now, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to do an example that involves the x cubed minus b cubed. It's not that big of a deal, but just to go through the experience for you. So here's what we're working with. this is what I'm going to start with. y cubed minus 8. So, in case you forgot the format, I'll just show it to you real quick here. So first we're going to have inside parentheses, we're going to have y minus 2, because I need to cube these, both these values have to be cubed. So that's what I'm doing there. So if I do 2 to the third power, I'll get, or negative 2 to the third power, I'll get 8, if you will. That's why we're doing that. And so followed by that, I'm going to have y squared plus 2y plus 2 squared, like so. And so I simplify that, which means I only have to change basically one value. So I have still y minus 2, y squared plus 2y plus 4, like so. And so that's pretty much the final answer. But just to confirm that, I will do the same multiplication that I did on the prior slide, in case you forgot about that. So let me go ahead and show you how that works. And so in this particular example, I will have y squared plus 2y plus 4. And then underneath that, I will have y minus 2. We multiply this. So negative 2 times 4 is going to be minus 8. Negative 2 times 2y is going to be minus 4y. And of course, negative 2 times y squared is going to be negative 2y squared, like so. Moving on, y times 4 is going to be 4y, positive 4y. And then we have y times, wait. Y times, okay, I got it. Y times 2y is going to be a positive 2y squared, like so. And then y times y squared is going to be y to the 3. Now, this should all look familiar here. It's just a matter of bringing stuff down. So the minus 8 comes down. That's good for us. That's very good. Negative 4y plus and positive 4y, they cancel out. Negative 2y and positive 2y, they cancel out. And then we have the y3. And so you can see I have y to the y cubed minus 8, which is exactly what my original value was. So we know that this answer we got here is correct. This is how you factor y to the third power minus 8. And so that's how you do these factoring for a difference of cubes. So in this video, I just showed you how to factor a difference of cubes here, or factor the sums difference of cubes here. And so the process is very simple. You have to, of course, identify, that your polynomial follows a specific pattern. And for our purposes in this video, it was going to be a cubed plus b cubed. And so what you do is first you have to remove the cube, if you will, and you just put it in this format right here: a plus b times a squared minus a times b plus b squared, as shown here. And it's really not that complicated. And sometimes you have to simplify because the last term here, the b term here, is squared, and so you have to sometimes simplify there. Now, in these examples, once you did all this, you were pretty much done. But sometimes when you get here at this little intermediate step, you might have to continue to simplify or even factor again. It happens sometimes. But in our examples, they were so simple, it was not a problem. And so this is kind of how this works. And unlike when you're factoring for a difference of squares, when you factor for a difference of cubes, whether they're added together or whether they're subtracted from each other, it still works out. So I hope that this video was useful for you as we try to address something that can be somewhat tricky when you're trying to deal with polynomials and wrestling with algebra. But again, this can be very, very useful when you start to deal with much more complex mathematics. So my name is Darren Thomas. I am the Director of Educational Research Techniques. Take care.